Welcome back to another perspective. On this particular video, I'll be giving some unqualified relationship advice, yet it is solicited as per Reddit forums. My goal is to do a series of these unqualified advisories, and I hope that my perspective can help somebody that might be in a similar situation. As usual, I want you guys to get in the comments and share your perspectives. If you like or dislike the video, give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And as always, do subscribe. Help me get these subscribers up. And without anything further, let's get into this first scenario. I, male 25, her, female 23, have been dating for 2 years, and now she suddenly wants a break because she wants to focus on herself before she gets married. Am I wrong to ask her to stay when we both clearly love each other, and it sucks to not be in contact with her anymore because of this decision? I have been trying to hold myself from crying and feeling miserable for the last 3 days now because I don't want to leave her side. What should I do? All right, man. First off, go ahead and cry. It's healthy to get that cry out the way, but do not do that in front of her. Cry on, but cry alone.
You're gonna cry in the car.
Secondly, she says she wants to focus on herself before she gets married. That leads me to presume that you guys are talking about marriage, and if that's the case, that's okay. But being that she's even talking about a break, you might want to get some couples counseling to see if there are any issues that might be unearthed or resolved in that manner. Now, you're 25 and she's 23, which is young, but statistically speaking, you guys getting married in the next 2 years, you'd still be 24% less likely to get a divorce than couples that marry under the age of 25. I'm sure that fact has something to do with the brain and its development once we're all over the age of 25. She's 23 now, so she just might not be ready. I myself fall into the group of young people that married before the age of 25, and that marriage did not last, which falls right in line with the 60% of marriages that end in divorce for couples that marry before the age of 25. I know you didn't ask about all that, but I felt adding that unsolicited perspective along with factoids might help make some sense of things. Finally, what should you do? Like I said initially, get your crying out. Once that's done, have a heart-to-heart with her. You tell her you don't want to break and you state your reasons. Even recommend some relationship counseling if you have the means by which to do so. If she doesn't want to go that route and still insist on taking a break, let her go. And by letting her go, I mean totally breaking up. Do not linger, do not maintain contact. You move on with your life. I personally don't believe in initiated breaks for someone to focus on themselves. In that case, just end the relationship and focus on yourself. No breaks. That break is kind of a 1 foot in, 1 foot out sort of deal with the added perk of a person not being 100% accountable to the relationship. If you guys are on a break and you later find out that she was seeing a guy, it's going to feel like she cheated. So just cut it all the way off and you focus on yourself as she's focusing on herself. Also consider that things happen during these so-called breaks. That's how break babies are born. Yeah, I said it, break babies. A break baby is a baby that was created while somebody was on a supposed break from a relationship. Let's not act like things don't happen on breaks. Things like random sexual liaisons with strangers or exes, then boom, she gets pregnant, or you knock somebody up, then y'all reconvene after the aforementioned break with a whole baby added to the relationship dynamic. Just say no to those damn breaks. Break it all the way off, and if the universe brings y'all back full circle and you want to give it a shot, have at it. All right, this one is from a woman. So that means I guess I gotta read this in my girl voice. All right, let's go for it. Some guys have asked me why I was playing games with them, even though the things I did were completely normal to me. For example, I met up with a guy for drinks, didn't feel a spark, so I decided to talk less with him in text so he could get the hint. He told me to stop playing games, but I'm not playing any games. I'm just not interested in you anymore. Did I play any games here? She edits her post to give more context. Girl voice again. Here we go. I'm just going to resolve some confusion here. By talk less with him in text, I mean there was 1 to 2 dry texts after the date, then completely no more replies. I didn't continue to talk to him for long like some people thought. Also, no, I didn't want to make him chase me. I'm not a friendly girl. If I'm not interested, I won't talk to them at all, or I'd block or unadd them to make it clearer, because I don't want anyone to assume I'm interested when I'm not. Men like to assume, whereas I know some girls who are very friendly. They wouldn't ghost, unadd, or block people. They still keep communication with them, with the men that showed interest in them, although they had no interest in these men. I personally see no point in doing so. Most comments said those hints are oblivious, but they are pretty straightforward to me. Someone not being communicative for days or completely going ghost, well, they're just not interested anymore. No one is too busy for someone they actually like. Take the clear hint. To me, the date didn't go well. I don't know what he might think though. Oh, that was a struggle. All right. Now let me start by admitting to my own bias here. My bias is based on my personal experience. So, from firsthand experience, I don't think that she's playing games, because men should get the hint, because I would have got the hint. However, in an attempt to consider those unlike myself, I must say that some men need clear words that express disinterest.
Hit me with it. Just give it to me straight. I came a long way just to see you married. Just least you can do is level with me. What are my chances?
Not good.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
I'd say more like 1 out of a million.
They may lack experience when it comes to rejection. You don't have to be rude or disrespectful in that process. And for a lot of those men, a simple, hey, it was nice meeting you, but I really just don't find that you're ideal for me, that sort of thing will work for most men. Now, ladies, please don't badger me for this one. I'm well aware that there are men that can take rejection sorely to heart, and no matter how nice you put it, your livelihood could be at risk.
Well, looky what we have here. No, staying right here with me. Come on.
So if you find it safer to simply fade to black as opposed to being straight up, do what yields the safest results for you. And that's where I'll pretty much leave it. Do what yields the most desirable and safest results for yourselves, ladies. To hell with if the men think you're playing games, but if you feel like giving closure or verbal indicators that make your lack of interest absolutely clear, doing so with care and courtesy is a nice gesture as well. But I don't think she's playing games. All right, third scenario here. I, male 23, was seeing this girl, 21-year-old female, for a few months now, and we just had our 12th date. I thought we were both having a good time, so when we were texting a few days later, I asked her if she'd be free sometime next week to go out again. I get no reply, even though I see her on social media. After 4 days of nothing, I was really getting emotional, so I ended up blocking her. After a few days, I did start to feel bad for blocking her for some reason, so I messaged her saying that I apologize for blocking her, but also saying that if she didn't want to see me anymore, she could have just told me instead of ghosting me. She replied saying that I really let my emotions control my actions and how that wasn't mature. I replied saying she doesn't make it easy for me when she doesn't respond for days, and that anyone would get upset at that. She then starts calling me selfish and that I always make things her fault, and then she blocked me. I just want to know if it was childish of me to block her like that. Maybe I should have texted her again, asking if everything was okay. I don't have a lot of experience in relationships. Then he came back and edited it and said, sorry, I should have been more specific. We actually had gone out around 10 to 12 times before. Okay, that doesn't make a difference. Okay. So were you a little childish? Yes, you were. Fight or flight kicks in for all of us at some point, and flight kicked in for you. Blocking her was kind of like fleeing and avoiding. So, that's flight, and that's okay. As you stated, you don't have a bunch of experience in relationships, so chalk this one up to a learning experience. You already realized what you should have done different. You definitely should have at least reached out to see if everything was okay. Now, if she would have replied back that things were okay, then you could have addressed the disappearing act. But let's also be fair to you as the one who felt some way initially. If somebody falls off for several days like that, it's not okay, especially if you've been dating for several months. A lot of time, that's a red flag. It could be that something serious happened in their personal life, or they're creating space in order to fall back for whatever reason. In any case, a 4-day disappearing act isn't okay. So yeah, next time, check the temperature of the room, ask if things are okay, address the disappearing act, and if there's not a reasonable explanation that you can accept, cut your losses, my man. All right, last scenario. Question. I, female. I gotta do some more female voice. Okay. Question. I, female, 26, have been seeing this guy, male, 24, for 2 months. 2 whole months. Okay. And we're both still in school. However, our timeline and career paths differ, as I'm set to graduate this May and begin my professional journey, while he's only done by December and currently job hunting all over the United States and his home country. We've had discussions about our future as a couple, and we seem to be on the same page for the most part. However, there are 2 issues that may pose a challenge for us. One, he doesn't seem to be keen on the idea of having a long-distance relationship, which could be problematic if he lands a job in a faraway location while I pursue my career in the same area. Here, I guess. Okay. Even though we have similar long-term goals, he's been quite casual in his approach to our relationship, and I'm planning on having the talk soon to define our status. I'm in a bit of a dilemma here because I have strong feelings for him, but I don't want to get hurt if things don't work out between us. So I would greatly appreciate any advice on what I should consider during our upcoming conversation and whether it's worth continuing to invest my time and energy into this relationship. All right, so before I get into my answer, there's a documentary out there about men from the Middle East, if I recall correctly, back in the 70s, 80s, maybe before that, and even sometime after that, they would come to the United States for university, for college. They would come, get their degrees, pursue their education, date, get in relationships, have children, and go back to their country and find their wives.
For decades, thousands of Saudi Arabian men have traveled abroad as university students. Many take advantage of their new freedom to have relationships with foreign women, only to abandon them when they become pregnant.
Le había dicho a mi mamá que iba a regresar y nunca regresó, entonces...
Now, the children they left behind are searching for answers.
I spent thousands and thousands of hours searching for them.
And yearning to know their Saudi fathers.
Do we need a permit? How do we go about that?
This is a thing. This has been a thing. So be very careful with people that don't even have ties in your home country. Be careful. All right. I know it's a new world and people do everything long distance, but just be careful. All right. But anyway, it's been 2 months. So you both have so much time ahead of you. But at the same time, it isn't such a bad time to lock in that lifetime partner. So I get it, and I love the idea of people not playing games all through their younger years. That being said, if he's not keen on the idea of a long-distance relationship, he won't pursue jobs that would create that dynamic. If he does, then the writing is on the wall. His casual approach to your relationship is also very indicative of his intentions, because as men, when we are intentional about a woman, it's obvious. You would need to have the talk. So I always recommend that if, as a woman, you have to have the talk, then you don't. But I know many women want their suspicions to be validated by fire-breathing evidence. The issue with that is that a lot of men will just string you along as they can until they don't have to anymore. And then you're left feeling as bad or worse than you would have if you would have just cut things off when you realized how casual he was in his approach to your relationship. All right. So, I mean, if you want to have the conversation, but trust your instincts, please. Trust your instincts. I need to put the link to that video about women's intuition at the end of this, and maybe, you know, those who might listen to this can tap into that. All right. And that's all I got for this edition of Unqualified Advice. Get in the comments and give your unqualified advice. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you dislike it, give it a thumbs down. And as always, do subscribe. Until next time,